Okay, here is a hosta growing in a pot. Now, it's kind of an inexpensive plastic pot, but that's okay because hostas are so lush in the summertime in Western Washington that they will spill over. They'll just totally hide the pot. So I want to tell you how I use hostas in my garden. Now, these hostas have been growing in the same pot for about 7 years. I use hostas in shaded, protected spots like this that don't get very much sun. And how do you know when this hosta has outgrown the pot and needs transplanting? Well, the hosta is going to tell you. I'll just come out here some morning and the pot's going to be cracked in half, wide open, and I'll say, oops, I should have transplanted that hosta. So before that happens to this one, I'm going to show you how easy it is to transplant hostas into pots. Now, I use a piece of a cardboard box here to keep things tidy. My other tool is a serrated root pruning knife. And this you can find at any hardware or garden store. And I use this because I am going to actually saw off a hunk of hosta. And you can't use a spade when you have them in these pots, so you have to actually saw right through the roots. You can do this in the winter, you can do this in the spring, you can do this in the summer. It doesn't matter. Hostas are so tough and hardy in our climate that you can just saw off a hunk. As long as it's got a little bit of root, that is enough root. And I'll just pop this up. Actually, this pot isn't even big enough. I'll pop this up. It'll fill in that pot, and I have another hosta to use as a little focal point someplace in my garden. Now I'll just add potting soil right to where this hosta was growing. So there, now you can't really tell where I removed the hosta, and this guy is going to be just as happy even though we tore off a piece of him to start a new hosta in a pot. What am I going to do with my pots of hostas? Well, I put them on pedestals in my garden. Actually keeps them away from the slugs and also elevates them, and it gives you a great dab of color and texture in a shaded part of your garden. So the next time you're thinking about what do you put in your pots for the summer, think hostas and you'll be happy.